Hey, do you guys want to buy a kingfish? You want to live in a crazy house even though you're not crazy? Are you in the market for two-headed monsters? If you just like listening to Mohr Stories every week, then you can help me out. Go to my website, jmohr.com, and click on the Amazon link on my website. If you're going to be shopping at Amazon anyway, why not help support Mohr Stories at the same time by going to jmohr.com, jaymohr.com, bleep, and then click on the Amazon link to their homepage, and then you can shop for whatever you want. Instead of me pushing a product on you, you can just simply go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com and get any product you want. I mean, I do a lot of favors for you, don't I? I ask you for one thing here, Henry. Go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com. Look, this is Harvey Keitel. Go to jmohr.com. Click the link. Who's going to be okay at Amazon.com through jmohr.com? Say the damn words. Do me a favor. Help us out. Help keep this podcast rolling. You know how much money I got to pay Matt Cohen every week? Go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com, and I will personally mail each of you $15 million. Part of this was made up. Hey, come see me live if you live in Richmond, British Columbia, Vancouver. Where you at? Canada. I'm going to be at River Rock Casino March 30th. Also, come see us do a live podcast at the incredible Irvine Improv April 4th and April 10th. Can't wait to see you guys out there. Better have my donuts.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boogly. Before we start, a toast, gentlemen. Ed Paxton.
Matt Paxton. My dad is Ed Paxton.
I know.
Oh, to Ed Paxton.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Ed Paxton.
Thank you.
Raise him up. Last time you were on
Thank
the
you,
podcast, we spoke so fondly, and you had such a smile on your face
You
talking
did,
about
man.
your dad.
You don't. I don't think you realize. I got to take the scarf off. I can't do a scarf. I'm not a scarf.
It's a little chilly in the studios today, so I'm handing out scarves.
Thank you. My
It's
life has
the
gotten
David
fancy, man. I'm sitting in a fancy garage up in Malibu Canyon with a scarf on.
This is how we do it, bro.
This is fancy.
The trick is to buy a house when you're not on a sitcom. Because the sitcom gets canceled. Mortgages don't. They just keep grinding along. So the house becomes this thing on your back that you worry about.
Yeah, see, I splurged that hoarder money and bought this fancy house, in Richmond, Virginia.
I love
stuck.
Richmond. We talked about it last time you were on. Matt Paxton is here. You see him all the time on Hoarders. His company is Clutter Cleaners. Most importantly, his podcast, which is great, is called 5 Decisions Away. And I've been listening to it. There's a different song every week, which is fun. Is that submissions?
Yeah, it's just people. I just put a thing on Facebook. I said, anybody wants to sing a song, sing me a song. Some are awesome, some are horrible. But we play them all.
Surprising you would get something horrible back from the world of the internet.
It's amazing to me that people send it thinking, this is going to win. This is awesome.
There was a girl that sang, when you did Animal Hoarding, there was a girl, the name of the episode was Animal Hoarding.
Oh, yeah.
A girl did an acoustic guitar song, and it sounded exactly like Ralphie May's wife, Lana Turner. No relation. But she's like a real funny comedian, and she plays acoustic guitar, and like she's got a whole bunch of songs about like jizz and. But
maybe it was. I have to go back and look.
I think you would know, because you'd be totally in Ralphie's. Ralphie and you would be best buddies. Ralphie's
world.
One of the world's greats.
That's what I hear.
And then I heard a rap guy do it.
Oh, these white rappers from Baltimore. Those guys are hardcore, and they're sending some good stuff.
Wow, Ryan Sickler's going to weep. Out of the whole city of Baltimore, you found the 2 white guys that rap, as opposed to every black guy in Baltimore.
Yeah, both of them sent songs in.
The 2 white guys. And then they found.
They might weigh 200 pounds combined.
Huh?
Like they're all like they're 100 pounds. Those guys are tiny.
I like to think they never met and they somehow collaborated out of nowhere.
It
like the 2 white, like particles finding each other in the universe. The 2 white guys in Baltimore.
Kevin Werline is the one guy who's amazing.
When do you get the Abbott brothers to do you a tune, dude?
Would that be like? Have you started listening to them?
I'm totally into the Abbott brothers.
Did I not turn you in the right way?
You did it right.
They're amazing.
And now I see their name everywhere.
Yeah, they're getting big.
A lot of festival stuff.
Big. I think it's the only way to make money in music now is festivals.
You think so?
I think so. Or you got to be like on the Housewives and just do a single on iTunes.
Or just right, like the theme song to Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm talking about like all those girls from Housewives in New York.
They don't make
horrific songs.
Yeah, they don't really get paid. That's Money can't buy your class. Elegance is learned, my friend.
I'm so
tardy for the party.
There's so many shows I want to talk to you about.
Do you know how many hashtags we get? People saying, "When are you talking about the Real Housewives?" And I'm like, I don't. Andy Cohen gassed me. He wouldn't come on the pod. He didn't even return my call when he was in town. But I will say this: that's the way to play it. Don't get on the phone and go, "Hey, I got this meeting. We'll see how it goes." Just act like you were never here for 3 days, and then answer your phone when you're back in the Hamptons and go, "Yeah, it was crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm so busy. Sorry.
I didn't know where my phone was. I left it in a rent-a-car. Then I just got home."
Yeah, and like, have you ever saw someone that didn't have their phone like right on them? They're like, "Oh, I didn't know you called me." I'm like,
he
dude,
avoided
you looked
me.
at every 5 seconds at your phone.
He avoided me, which was honestly, I think, is the way to play it. That's the way to go. You just avoid the person completely, as opposed to going. I don't want him to bullshit me and have a weird friendship.
Y'all are buds, right?
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. He's my gay. I have one gay.
That he's it.
I think so. I don't know how many other gays we have.
He's Jewish and gay, so you knock out 2, really.
Yeah, I got a lot of Jewish friends, but I don't have many gays, which I don't understand. I'm pretty gay friendly.
Yeah.
And I blew a kid when I was 7, which people don't. I talked about it on the Colin Quinn podcast. People were like, "When are you going to tell that story? When are you going to tell that story?" And then I told the story, and they're like, "Wow, I did not need to hear that."
Yeah. Someone was like all upset about it. It called me, and I'm like, "Dude, I know Jay, but like I can't tell him what story to say and not to say."
They called you upset that
they were just upset by the story, and then
it was a tame version of it.
And it's a girl that I barely know her. She's a really good writer.
Let me interrupt you. Yes. What I say on stage, when I'll tell that story on stage, and the girls, never the guys, go, "Oh," and I go, "Lady, I quit." You'll have something in your mouth tonight if you play your cards right. I'm completely done. It didn't take. So I don't know why you're moaning when for me it was a one-off.
Just check it off the list.
Huh?
Just check it off the list.
I just checked it off my bucket list. At 7 years old, I was like, nah, that's not for me. I like getting it. Did not like doing it. Gross. Tasted like pennies.
Did you hear this, dude?
That's my little signal flare so people know I'm telling the truth.
Is that true? Is that what it tastes like?
Yeah, it tastes like pennies.
Dude, I asked those 2 gay guys on my podcast, I was like, does dick taste as bad as you think it would? And they both at the same time like, no, not really.
Well, not to that. You asked the wrong demo.
Yeah,
you should ask the guy in jail that has forced to do it.
Yeah, that was a loaded
what do you expect? I like you on your podcast. One of the ones I listened to. Oh shoot, I forget which one. I listened to a whole bunch in the last week. There's like 8 total on iTunes.
21 now, man.
On iTunes, because they only rank the 8.
The top 8.
Okay, I gotcha. Ones. And you had 2 guests on, Jackson and...
Those are the guys, Jackson and Mike.
But then you said those were their like fake names to protect their privacy. Why?
They're not ashamed. They just don't... Jackson has a very specific job, and it's actually in the hoarding field.
So they're not even hoarders.
No, Jackson was a really bad hoarder.
But now he has a job working with
He's
hoarders.
a CPS worker. So like he removes children from homes that are messy. And he is actually a recovering hoarder.
So he wants his identity protected because if we knew what his job was...
he could lose his job. He removed children from homes that weren't as bad as his home.
Oh, so his identity might need to be protected because people come after him for taking their kids away.
It could be. Mainly he just don't want to lose his job.
How would he lose his job, Matty?
Because his house was worse than the houses he was pulling people out of.
But doesn't it make him qualified?
That's what I would say. It was a wonderful house. Like the guy is a great story. The love story. The guys literally, these 2 dudes found each other. They fell in love and they overcame hoarding so they could get married. Like awesome story. And
that's the dirtiest gay love story I've ever heard. Literally. That is literally the dirtiest gay love story. Hey, I met through hoarding. How do hoarders meet one another?
Well, Mike was not a hoarder. He was just gay, and they met because they were gay.
Where do you meet? All right.
I think there's bars for gay guys, I think.
Come on.
That's what I hear, man.
What is this, the future?
I don't know. I'm just
But
talking.
if you're a hoarder, the whole thing is, they do leave their house a lot. You're right. And I guess you would want to go out to the bars and have a life that is not a hoarding life.
Yeah. He never wanted to go home. He was the party guy, so he always stayed out. He'd always stay at the other dude's house. They had dated for like a year.
He's
and
fun.
He's fun. He's party
If you're
boy.
gay, he's your guy.
He was the guy. He was party
Wow,
boy.
this guy just came right home with me. You didn't realize it's because he couldn't get the holiday wreaths out from in front of his door.
Full back Blondie tattoo. His whole back is a Blondie album cover.
Oh, I thought you meant the comic strip.
No,
Dagwood Bumstead holding a sandwich.
The other Blondie.
Don't hold it in. By the way, you did a great job on Howard Stern. And I
Thank
was
you, sir.
driving in my car listening to my Sirius XM satellite radio, and I was so fired up when I heard you on Howard. I'm like, yes, big time.
It is.
Paxton's hit.
You don't realize you released all that, man. I was literally, when I got on yours, I was like, I better do a podcast. So I had one podcast before I came on yours. And then because I came on your podcast, it just exploded. And I got tons and tons of press from it. I mean, I had
Wait, you got press from being on my podcast?
Yeah, I had 300, maybe 300 downloads before I went on your podcast.
Okay.
And we're getting 100,000 a week now. And it started with coming to Mohr Stories. Some dude a writer from the Leno show heard me on your thing.
They're good guys over there in
He
Leno.
called up my book. This is a crazy story. Called up my book agent and was like, we heard Matt on Mohr Stories. We want him to come in and tell some funny hoarder stories. And so my book agent, because there's so many funny hoarder stories, right?
It's like, we saw him on Intervention. If he could just come on and really make fun of
Make us
drunks.
laugh. Exactly. Well,
If he could just come on, maybe not so much the heroin people, but if he could really hit the drunks and the meth people, that's what we're looking for on Leno.
Hence why you haven't seen me on Leno, because everything we sent wasn't funny. I was like, it's just not really that funny of a topic. And so we ended up not doing it. But
Well, what a great compliment to the podcast
Oh,
that
my
you
God.
and I had so much fun
Totally.
laughing.
oh my, I couldn't believe we even got
And
asked.
let's not mention somebody, okay? So when you do Howard, were you nervous going in there?
I didn't go in. It was a call in, which I'm glad.
Oh, that's right. And it
Yeah.
was weird because rarely do you hear a call-in talking to other callers.
Yeah,
You were taking calls.
I didn't even know I was going to take calls. I thought it was going to be an 8-minute call. I've been hustling trying to get on there for months. Because every time I go to the city, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in. Would love to come in. I call everybody. Anybody that I know has ever showed interest, I let them know I'm coming to the city.
Didn't you do Opie and Anthony?
I've done Open Anthony. Yeah, did actually going back next week.
They're good guys.
They've been really good. I tell you who I love is Ron and Fez, man.
The best.
That's your boy, Fez. Congrats, man.
He came out of the closet?
came out, yeah.
Wow, that's been the worst kept secret of all time.
I would say, it wasn't a surprise, but good for him for coming out.
It's a surprise to me because in the world of radio, you're not you're not sure in radio what is a bit. It's almost
Well-
like pro wrestling. It goes on so long, you think Sergeant Slaughter is an actual guy in the army.
By the way, I know Sergeant Slaughter. He's from Richmond.
Is he really?
Swear to God.
What
Yeah.
an underbite. He looks like Bill Cowher, former coach of the Steelers.
I actually knew his girlfriend. She's passed away since.
Must have caught 100 beatings off that animal.
But we were at the funeral, and everyone's like, that's just Sergeant Slaughter.
Wait a minute. You met Sergeant Slaughter at a funeral? Whose
Yeah,
funeral?
his girlfriend's.
I told you. She must have caught 100 beatings off that animal. So he put her in the
She was a
camel
good
clutch.
friend. She was a good friend, and we didn't know that she was dating Sergeant Slaughter. They've been dating for years.
What
No
did she
one knew.
die of?
I don't know. She probably.
Oh my God! And so did
She
you?
was young. I know that.
Huh?
She was young. She's probably 40-something.
Did you? Sounds young. Did you? Did you approach Sergeant Slaughter?
No, it was a funeral. He just
How big is he in real life?
no, like Tom Cruise, 5'6".
You're out of your mind.
No, he's 5'8". He's not that big.
I
I
like-
mean, he's jacked. He's still
He's not
jacked.
5'8".
Those guys are not big.
I'm 5'10".
Yeah,
You're 5'10",
I'm ish. I'm probably 5'8".
and he's not as tall as me, Sergeant Slaughter.
Not as tall as you, but strong.
I think it was this guy that looks like Sergeant Slaughter.
No, it's actually Sergeant Slaughter, but he goes by Bill or something now.
Bill Slaughter.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
Enos
know.
Slaughter.
I didn't stop for a card.
You should have went up to him and just put him in a figure 4 leg lock.
Definitely, just kicked him in the nuts.
Was he wearing
Drop
this?
kicked him.
No, that's against the rules.
Is it?
The ref would have given you a very slow, deliberate fake 10 count and said, "Knock it off now, and no pulling hair."
Like at a wrestler funeral, do they tap? Do they count to 10 and then everybody walks out?
I don't know. I like to picture Sergeant Slaughter in that stupid singlet he wore. He's like one of the few wrestlers that wore that. Did he have the singlet where it was one sleeve that went across diagonally his chest? No, he had two.
Iron Sheik.
Salvatore Balomo had the one that went across diagonally.
One. And then Iron Sheik did, didn't he?
Iron Sheik was straight trunks.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in like a bathing suit. Iran number one, champ one, opening Anthony, fuck an ass.
He calls in, doesn't he? He gets all fired up.
He was on Opie and Anthony once. He was so drunk he pissed his pants. And Boog.com. Say the damn words. Do me a favor. Help us out. Help keep this podcast rolling. You know how much money I got to pay Matt Cohen every week? Go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com, and I will personally mail each of you $15 million. Part of this was made up. Hey, come see me live. If you live in Richmond, British Columbia, Vancouver, where you at? Canada. I'm going to be at River Rock Casino. Click on the Amazon link to their homepage, and then you can shop for whatever you want. Instead of me pushing a product on you, you can just simply go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com and get any product you want. I mean, I do a lot of favors for you, don't I? I ask you for one thing here, Henry. Go to Amazon.com through jmohr.com. Look, this is Harvey Keitel. Go to jmohr.com. Click the link. Who's going to be okay at Amazon.com through jmohr? Hey, do you guys want to buy a kingfish? You want to live in a crazy house even though you're not crazy? Are you in the market for two-headed monsters? If you just like listening to Mohr Stories every week, then you can help me out. Go to my website, jmohr.com, and click on the Amazon link on my website. If you're going to be shopping at Amazon anyway, why not help support Mohr Stories at the same time by going to jmohr.com, jaymohr.com, bleep, and then 30th. Also, come see us do a live podcast at the incredible Irvine Improv, April 4th and April 10th. Can't wait to see you guys out there. Better have my donuts.
Put your name on it. Just put your name on it. That's all I say. Be a man or a woman. Put your name on it.
Well, I'd like to hear about it, potheads.
How the fuck you gonna know how to be great if you don't study greatness? Look at the game tape.
Donuts.
Oh yeah!